All right, so it's time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining from. You're welcome to today's webinar on AI in crypto investigation, a law enforcement and crypto compliance or compliance officers field guide. And it's a pleasure to have you here. We already have our speaker, Mr. William, with us. Would start immediately. But before we introduce what we do at A&D Forensics, we have so many professionals joining us. We have the law enforcement agents, we have investigators, public private investigators, we have some professors, we have some accountants, we have some lawyers joining in to be part of this event. And we want to appreciate you for your time, and we hope that this 1 hour you're going to spend within this webinar is going to be of value to you. So, quick recap of what we do at A&D Forensics. At A&D Forensics, we are Africa's leading blockchain intelligence service provider. And what we do is practically tracing and investigating any crypto-related crime. All right. So we have situated at Abuja, FCT Abuja, where we carry out this investigation with support from multiple partners that are blockchain analytic firms. For instance, we've partnered with Chainalysis, we've partnered with Blockchain Intelligence Group, with CoinFirm, and a whole lot of others. So we carry out those services, and particularly we also train law enforcement in crypto investigations. So we have the CCI Certified Cryptocurrency Investigator course, which we run on site here at A&D Forensics. So we've trained some law enforcement participants in the past from the EFCC for those of us in Nigeria, and also from Nigeria Police Force and some other law enforcement agents jurisdiction as well. And also, we offer compliance services, and we are basically looking at the Web3, which is the crypto related fintechs, the VAS, that's virtual asset service providers, the money service business. So that's where we focus on. And we also have a solution called compliance as a service solution, which is um, which is like a turnkey solution to help you as a compliance officer to navigate the murky waters of regulations. All right, it's a tool for you to be able to use in your at your workplace rather. And we also offer a training for that. We call it the Certified Cryptocurrency Compliance Specialist course. So these trainings are also available on site because we understand that most of our African natives they want these trainings to be carried out in a regular classroom environment. So we have a space for that. I would also go to your places. For instance, the law enforcement can call us to offer in-person training for them. We do that as well. All right. So that's for the training for crypto compliance and the training for crypto investigations. So for people that want to come into the crypto compliance field, probably you're already a compliance officer in your different jurisdictions. Let's say in the banks, financial institutions, traditional finance, right? And you want to dive into crypto compliance. We also offer our services to you through these trainings, right? And we also offer smart contract audits. So for Web3 platforms that build solutions, it's very important that you audit your solutions, right? The smart contract. So we do that at A&D Forensics. And our cybersecurity services as well. We do penetration testing, vulnerability assessment for your platforms as well, because it is very important that you pen test your platforms. um, I will also want to also introduce my partner as well, my my colleague rather, Mr. Fizo is also on this call. Our senior partner is supposed to be on this call, and he's going to join us actually, Mr. Adedeji Owinibi. And also we have our guest with us, Mr. William, which I'll also introduce before we start. So please, I would like to encourage us to feel free, open your minds. All right, AI is artificial intelligence. Last week, yes, I got a message. Someone asked me after posting this flyer on my status, and someone asked me, "Is AI evil?" And I said, "No, AI is not evil. All right, AI can be used in your or applied in your different niches, in your different careers. Okay, whatever you're doing, AI can help you to do it better. It's not going to make you do it the lesser way, but in a better way. So AI isn't, but you try to find where you can use or leverage on AI in what you're doing. And that is why we are here today. All right. So we are coming from financial crime fighters niche. All right. So we have people that are there to ensure that these criminals, these bad actors that are already, we can't shy away from the fact that these bad actors are already using AI to make their crimes more complicated for us investigators, right? They are already using it, and we've seen cases of deep fakes, all right, being used to manipulate CEOs' voices, all right, and the victims were swindled a large sum of amounts, right? And if the criminals are already placing themselves, positioning themselves to use this AI to in a bad way. So why wouldn't the good ones? Why wouldn't the financial crime fighters? All right, we should know how to leverage on this AI to fight financial crimes, and most especially financial crimes involving cryptocurrencies. All right, so if you're very new to cryptocurrencies, you are also welcome because it's just money in another form. All right, so like our storyteller would always say, when he tells a story, he always tell us that he has actually started as a forensic investigator in the traditional finance, right? But a time came when he had a case, and he started off the case, and at a point he got limited. Why? The criminal swindled the money and transferred it to Bitcoin. That was the end for him, right? He tried to now come into knowing how these things can be actually traced, and that is where we are today, right? So if you're already a law enforcement agent trying to catch or trace these finances in the traditional way, it's something similar that is being done with cryptocurrencies, and we're all going to look at that in this webinar. So I will also encourage you to have your writing materials close to you, all right? Take down points, jot down points. Our speaker would be able to take your questions before we leave this webinar. Before we also go, we're also going to get some feedback from you. We'll drop the survey link in the chat box before we leave so that we can get feedback from you on what you learned and what you expect moving forward from here. All right. So I don't know if you're excited. I don't know if you're ready. If you are, please drop a comment ready on the chat box so that we can call up on our speaker, we can introduce him, and he can take the floor. So do we have anybody that is ready? You can, okay, I can see ready. All right, that's fine. Fantastic. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, all right. So I'll be introducing our speaker, all right, and he's going to come up and start off his teachings. Thank you so much. Please do well to take down notes from this. So meet our speaker, Mr. William Bill J. Callahan. Three. I was saying I was going to ask him why that three, but that's another discussion for another day. So with over 20 years in the Drug Enforcement Administration, that's DEA. In case you've seen DEA and you're wondering what's DEA, it means Drug Enforcement Administration. Bill's experience is unparalleled. You can't match it. He retired as the special agent in charge for the St. Louis division and has a remarkable track record in combating money laundering, tackling dark web narcotic distribution involving cryptocurrencies, all right, and much more. I don't want to bore you with most of it, all right. So from shaping policies, we know what policies help us to do. Like for compliance officers, you have your AML policies that you work with in your firms, all right? So he has been involved with shaping policies for undercover operations involving cryptocurrency to spearheading efforts in Latin America and the Caribbean. Bill's influence is far-reaching. His journey also led him to where he's currently working at now, which is the Blockchain Intelligence Group, all right, which happens to be our partner, and where he is the director of government and strategic affairs, fostering global relationships that matter. All right. Um, I don't have more words to say, but I want us to welcome our speaker, Mr. William Callahan. Please, you can take the floor now. Thank you.
Thank you, Chioma. Thank you for those nice words. It was more than enough words. And let me tell you the three. So what God said years and years ago, He said, "I'll make one William J. Callahan." He said that didn't work out. He said, "All right, I'll make another one." Then he got it right. He made the third, right? But then about like 27 years ago, he said, "Nah, let me try that again." So now there's a fourth out there. So just so you know, there's four of us with the name. So you may see that. But hey, everybody, thank you for joining us today. Good morning. Good morning. Well, I'm saying good morning. I know for many of you it's the afternoon, but good morning from here in the East Coast of the U.S. I'm in the state of New Jersey, giving you a call. Uh, I got a lot of slides, and if anybody's ever seen my presentations before, I probably have more slides than time. So some of them we'll get to, some of them we won't, but I'll go through this fairly quickly. I also want to say, yes, encourage you to throw something in the chat box if you want. I think, Chioma, you'll monitor that, because if you see something or you see a theme of something, feel free to jump in on me here. So let me do this. Let me get started. And what I do want to say on the outset is, we're all new to this. We're all learning this. And when I was putting this together, when Sean was talking to me about it, I look at cryptocurrency investigations, they're financial investigations. So I kind of go back and forth and say, let's talk about financial investigations, because crypto is part of that. Now, this works here. Okay, my first slide moved. I want to make sure, Chioma, my first slide moved there. Hey, I always like to start where most people end, is with their contact information, because I want to give you an opportunity to grab that. There's a couple of different ways you can get in touch with me: my email, social media, the QR code in the middle. Please, if you're on LinkedIn, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd also highly recommend, if you don't want to connect with me, connect with Chioma. I mean, she puts out some really good stuff every day as well. I try to post every day on some sort of topic in money laundering, fraud, or an event like this. So later on today, I'll post something about today's event. But please, I'd love to have you in my network here. So that's a way to get in touch with me. Join my LinkedIn network as well. Just like Chioma said, brief background: spent my career with the DEA, primarily doing financial investigations. So while I did drug cases, worked a lot of financial investigations, which led us back to the drugs. One of the things I always enjoyed was, drugs came through bad places, right? Places you don't want to go. Money travels to some of the great places in the world. So I had some great opportunities to travel the world, where the money launderers sat, and just got us in at just a much higher level of an investigation. After I retired, I did join a company called Blockchain Intelligence Group, which is partnered up with A&D Forensics. Chioma mentioned we have a couple of different training programs, and one is the Certified Cryptocurrency Investigator Training Program. So if you are looking to take that deeper dive, please take a look at that course. And we have a couple of tools, and you'll see an example during my presentations of that tool. So let's get started here. And again, because it's a very diverse audience, some of the stuff may be new to some people, it may be old to others. So I just try to keep it a level that hopefully everybody understands. But let's just talk about cryptocurrency analytics, right? What is it? Well, this involves the leveraging of advanced technologies to analyze complex transactions on the blockchain, revealing hidden patterns and trends, right? And that's what we're looking for. And you'll hear me talk about this. And even as a criminal investigator, from the basic drug investigation to the complex money laundering investigation, the way my mind is always working is I'm looking for patterns of behavior. And I've written about this in some of my posts here. So if you're even if it's a drug dealer, they have patterns of behavior. And when that pattern changes, then I know something is up. Something changed, something's different. Does that mean the drug load has come in? Does that mean the money's going out? Right. So, one of the things that from my law enforcement friends out there, is I'm always keen on, documenting. I want to know the mundane. When I supervised investigators and they came back from a day of surveillance, they said nothing happened. I would say, what do you mean nothing happened? And they would tell me, well, he took the car to get the car wash, or took his mother to work in the morning, or something like that, something that we all think is mundane. But to me, those are clues, because that one day when he doesn't take his mother to work, I want to know why. Why did the mother have to take a taxi or a bus or some other means? Because that's usually the day that he's supposed to sit and wait by the phone because that drug load is coming in, right? So I'm always going to talk about patterns of behavior there. Let's see here. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just having to switch the screen on one screen here. As I mentioned, we do have a tool, Clue. You'll see this kind of graph pop up every so often. If you're looking to learn more and you're connected with Chioma there, I know this is what tool that she's using to conduct investigations. This analytical approach allows us to uncover insights into patterns and trends and connections that may be concealed in the digital world. So basically what we're doing here, what we're doing with this technology, is we're taking those zeros and ones, we're taking what's not seen, right? You don't see with this computer code, and then we're able to put it into a visual format. And behind that, then we have a team of people working to identify, attribution to some of these wallets. So if the wallet was seen maybe in a public open space, public source, open source, affiliated with terrorism, child exploitation, then we can kind of attribute it to those wallets there, give it some more context. So throughout this presentation, we'll explore how AI has transformed financial investigations, especially within the realm here. Today we're talking about cryptocurrencies. We're going to examine how AI is utilized to detect illicit activities, track transactions, and enhance the investigator's efficiency. And that's where you're going to keep hearing that theme come back. What is AI? Like Chioma said, is AI evil? Well, I mean, I say the same thing about cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency isn't good or evil. It's a method. It's a value transfer system, right? It's how that person uses it. As an investigator, my job for many years, right, was to figure out that $1 million in drug. And you could take whatever criminal proceeds you want. My world was narcotics, right? How does that $1 million in drug money get back to Colombia, let's say, right, to where the drug dealers, the cartels are, in Mexico, wherever the source may be, without ever leaving New York? Meaning that $1 million never leaves New York, or maybe never leaves the US. Well, what happens? It gets converted into cell phones. It gets converted, or refurbished cell phones, or refurbished appliances, or used cars. Right? We're taking the value of that money, we're transferring it into something else, and that something else we can conceal and hide and move. Right? That's what we're thinking there. The cell phone isn't evil. The car's been used for bank robberies for how many years? The car isn't evil. Right? So that's what we have to look at here. And I look at the same thing with AI, with this emerging technology. Are there evil people out there who are going to get their hands on it? Yeah, and that's what we're all here to combat. So let's just talk about artificial intelligence for a second. And I hope this translates into what a nutshell when we say that. Is that a saying that you use there, Chioma? You can nod your head. Is when I ask you just explain something in a nutshell, is that translate well to you? Okay, great. So artificial intelligence, or AI, refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence, right? AI aims to replicate cognitive functions such as learning and problem solving, reasoning, and decision making. We've all been using AI in one form or another, right? Throughout our lives. But recently, and again, I don't really talk too much in this presentation about something like ChatGPT. If you haven't used it yet, jump on it. It's free. You can sign up. You can use it. I would definitely recommend it. There's a number of different AI programs, software programs. Every week, I usually just try to subscribe to one or two of them, even their free trials, just to try them out. And I just highly would recommend it. Some of them I have no use for, just because I have no use for it. Not that there isn't a use case for the software, I just haven't figured out myself. And some of them I'm using every day. like maybe some of you are using Canva. Canva has AI now built into it. This presentation was built with Canva. And then there's others where you can do videos and things where it's AI. And again, AI isn't simply, I'm saying here, let AI do all the work. No, we're going to be talking throughout this presentation about that human intervention as well. But this is just a little bit of an artificial intel AI in a nutshell here. So AI has evolved to encompass various techniques and technologies, including, these are the words you're going to start hearing more and more if you're in this, in financial investigations or crypto investigations or anything to do with AI: machine learning, neural networks, natural language processing. And because I said I would start, some of the basic things here, I just want to, set the table and the ground level here. Machine learning involves training algorithms to recognize patterns in data and make predictions or decisions based on that learning, right? And I look at it this way in the most simplest form. If you ask a 2-year-old sitting at the table to pass the salt, they won't know what to do. Probably they won't know what to do. But ask a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, they know what to do. They've been trained, right? And maybe I've been trained so much that I don't even wait for you to ask me, because I know that you use salt on your food, and I know the salt shaker is near me. So as we sit down for dinner, I quickly pass the salt shaker to you without you even asking me. So think about the machine starting to do that. Neural networks. Neural networks are inspired by the structure of the human brain. They consist of interconnected nodes that process information, enabling tasks like image and speech recognition. So again, another AI tool. This presentation can be taken, put into an AI, and a word-for-word transcript can be done. Okay, and it'll be done very efficiently, effectively, and quickly. And you can then set it to take out all my ums and uhs, that'll be sprinkled through. So the presentation that I could produce within minutes, after this is over, could be like, I am a world-class speaker. Unfortunately, I know I use ums and ahs, and my hands go flying all over the place too. So you'll see some of that. Natural language processing, NLP, and you'll see this a lot. NLP focuses on enabling computers to understand, interpret, and generate human language. It powers those chat boxes, language translation, and sentiment analysis. And I think one of the areas, like, you'll see this outside of financial investigations, just to put this in everyday context. I'm sure, like in the U.S., you have drive-throughs. Do you have McDonald's and Burger Kings and those type of places where you drive up, you drive through, you order your hamburgers, French fries, and a soda? Well, the move will be that they won't be staffed by a human. They'll be staffed by a chat box, and that chat box not only will recognize what you order, right, but it'll also recognize in multiple languages immediately, and there won't be errors. It'll be stuff there. So just a movement. Let's see here. Okay. So my favorite person there in Nigeria, Chioma, CCI here, and she's asking, how is AI transforming financial investigations, and what are the benefits? And that's what we'll talk about. Hope I didn't offend you by using you there, Chioma, but when I saw the hello sticker, I said I had to throw it up on you there. So AI is revolutioning financial investigations by introducing automation to advanced analytics. Okay, the AI-driven algorithms, they can swiftly analyze vast amounts of financial data. And if any of you have used ChatGPT at all, and if you haven't, I highly recommend it just to try it out. I mean, you can basically take a PDF article on something, or take an article, cut it, paste it into chat, and basically say summarize in 3 sentences at the level of a 10th grader or a 5th grader, whatever you want to do. And literally within less than a minute, it starts to produce what you've asked for. And something, if you are using ChatGPT or you're new to it or some of these, one of the things you want to learn about is how to prompt it. Okay, so many people are many people use it for the first time. They'll tell me, I don't like what I got, and I'll say, well, what did you ask? And they'll ask a very simple question. What you have to do is basically tell it who it is. Tell it why you're looking at something. Sometimes my prompts are longer than the responses when I go into it because I want it to understand who is asking this question, who should the computer play that role of, who the audience is. So I'm always telling it who the audience is going to be, what kind of level I want it at, conversational, and then how the format I want. Do I want it in bullet points? Do I want it in short sentences? Do I want it in blog post type of format? So yeah, learn about prompt engineering there. Uh, uh, as I said, task that once took weeks, and that's what we've seen when I was supervising investigators who were doing these types of financial investigations, especially cryptocurrency. It was weeks of just gathering the data, right? Because they had to gather data in Excel spreadsheets, put it into some sort of I2 type chart, review it, find that needle in the haystack, then go back and get more data, put it in. Now time has lapsed, more data. Well, what is the AI doing? As you see in a tool like Cool, it's giving you real time blockchain transactions, okay, and in a visual format where you're not waiting weeks for something to come back and something new to be analyzed. And then, like I said, the AI, it excels really at identifying complex patterns, anomalies, and hidden connections, and then that's a real benefit from it. The benefit in financial investigations. So the benefit in financial investigations in Chioma, this might be on the test, improved efficiency and accuracy. AI eliminates manual and time-consuming processes, and it reduces human error and enhances accuracy in identifying suspicious activity. So those are some of the benefits. Love to hear from you if you think that there's additional benefits too. But those are, hold on, my mouse doing something here. Okay. So what are we talking about? We're talking about handling large volumes of data. Like I said, AI enables investigators to process and analyze huge data sets rapidly. So that's what I was saying about dumping something in and giving it a prompt just to show you how it works. And this is very vital in cases involving intricate financial transactions. Predictive analysis, and this is something AI can do. AI models can predict potential financial crimes by analyzing historical data. This proactive approach helps investigators prevent fraudulent activities. So if you can start to identify, where your vulnerabilities are, where your threats are, where they're coming from, this is where you want to put your eyes, right? In criminal justice, right? That's where you want to put. If we can predict where crime is going to happen, maybe we put additional resources, additional manpower there. Maybe we even just put a police car there as a deterrent, right? Maybe it's not always used to catch the bad guy or gal, right? Maybe we're looking to prevent it. How do we, prevent traffic accidents in a high, traffic accident area? Well, we put some police cars out there to make it look like they're catching speeders, so slow the traffic down. So applying AI techniques to cryptocurrency investigations, we're going to look at identifying patterns and tracing transactions, exposing hidden connections and enhanced analysis for deeper insights. So move on to that. So identifying patterns and tracing transactions. Pattern recognition for suspicious activities. So, like I said, AI excels at recognizing intricate patterns that might indicate fraudulent and criminal behavior. Now, AI is going to recognize this because you, as that human person, right, as a human working it, you're going to have to prompt it there. You're going to have to tell it what to look for. You're going to have to give it those parameters. This includes identifying multiple small transactions, rapid transfers, or irregular patterns across different wallets. So AI is currently always learning. So as we're learning, how the bad guys use crypto, we've got to teach the AI that. And if the if the latest trend is, let's say, take Bitcoin, put it in Ethereum, put it back into Bitcoin, put it into something like that, we've got to train AI to look for that and then to alert us when that is happening. Machine learning algorithms can adapt and evolve their pattern recognition based on real-time data, improving accuracy. Remember, we got to feed the AI, feed the algorithm. Identifying patterns and tracing transactions. This is tracing transactions with precision. Cryptocurrency transactions, although pseudonymous and leave a digital trail on the blockchain. If anybody is new to cryptocurrency investigations, great, and we're glad to have you. But remember, cryptocurrency transactions are pseudonymous. They're not completely anonymous, and that's why we have great investigators like Chioma and the team at A&D Forensics that unmask what these who's behind these transactions, right? They have the tools, they have the training to unmask who's behind there. Something I say in my other presentations, I spent some time talking to hiring managers, heads of compliance departments, who are always looking for folks to do these investigations and understand this. And one of the things they always tell me is I get good candidates, especially from law enforcement, from traditional finance. They come in the door, and then they say something like, "Well, this cryptocurrency, it's anonymous. You can't do anything about it." And that hiring manager basically, they slap their head emoji, and end the interview, right? And that's, I hear that because I'm heavily involved with our training program, our certified cryptocurrency investigator program, and they're calling to say, hey, send me these CCIs that complete your training, because they know, one, it's not anonymous. They know certain things, and they're willing to train on investigations, but they have to come through the door knowing some of the basics there. So and that's, I know, what Chioma and the team there and the Digi at A&D are teaching. So AI-powered tools enable investigators to trace transactions across multiple addresses and wallets, and we're even doing it across different blockchains as well. By following the flow of funds, investigators can unmask the movement of assets between different parties, even across different cryptocurrencies. And again, that's something I'm happy to show you in our tool. Call it some cross-chain analysis as well. Exposing hidden connections and enhanced analysis, unveiling hidden connections in networks. So the inherent transparency of blockchain networks combined with AI can unveil otherwise obscured transactions. And I've seen that done by hand, and now it's a lot easier and time efficient. Again, we're looking for those patterns of behavior. By clustering addresses associated with suspicious activities, AI reveals networks of actors engaged in illicit transactions. So, we're doing, again, coming out of law enforcement, right? I'm talking to my cooperators, listening to my wiretaps, interviewing defendants, right? And finding out, okay, all I need is that one wallet address. And from there, I can identify additional wallet addresses of the illicit actors. And this helps investigators identify not only transactions, but also the broader networks involved. And at the end of the day, right, that's what we're doing as we're all here as higher level investigators, right? We're not looking to make the one arrest because the guy has the least amount of drugs on him, right? We are looking to take down the network, right? The street level drug dealer will be replaced within minutes on the street. What we need to do is build our way up, and this is any sort of crime. I just use, again, drug trafficking, but if you're doing human trafficking, right? Taking off the guy who's driving the van, right? That's low level. Would you need to get his boss's boss's boss? That's where you're going in these types of investigations. So it gives you some deeper insights, right? So AI-driven data analysis allows investigators to uncover insights from diverse sources. So this is the other thing too. Now we're looking at multiple sources, and the AI can be trained to look at the different sources. And these sources, right, in our world's investigations, right, we're on social media forums, we're in those forums, the dark web platforms, where discussions about illegal activities are occurring, right? They're occurring on social media. By synthesizing this information, AI helps investigators form a comprehensive picture of criminal activities and the individuals involved. So, again, you may have one piece on the crypto, Now, how do you marry that up with the social media where actually the sellers or maybe a higher level is at? And then the crypto where you have the money launderers. The money launderers aren't talking to the low level street dealers, right? The money launderers are reporting, and they're talking to the bosses. Okay, told you there would be a test. If you all wouldn't mind, throw into the chat. Can anybody tell me what are the benefits of AI in financial investigations that I had mentioned before? Maybe we give it a second here. Throw into the chat. What are the benefits of AI in financial investigations? Just covered that a few minutes ago. Maybe see if we get anybody to jump in. Anybody want to jump in? Oh, there we go. Fast identification, great. Prompt or efficient, very good. Good. And if anybody has any other ones they want to throw in, this would be a good time just to throw in if you notice something else here that I missed. Would love to hear from you as well. Human error, yeah, that's a good one. We'll talk about that. We'll mention that one. Recognize the transaction behavior is good. Good stuff. Got the due diligence, no searches, right? Yeah, so improved efficiency and accuracy. AI eliminates manual and time-consuming processes, reduces human error, and enhances accuracy in identifying suspicious activity. So really good, some good stuff there. Hey, I should have mentioned at the beginning, I forgot, usually when I show my contact information, I'm a big believer that, we normally would do things like this in person, right? But through technology, we're able to get lots of people on the line from all over the world and do this. And this is great because we're all here as financial investigators concerned about cryptocurrency and financial investigations. What we would be doing if we were all in person, right? We'd take a break, we'd hand out our business cards, we'd have lunch with some people we didn't know. Since we don't have that luxury, what I do encourage people to do on my webinars, if you want, drop into the chat your contact information, your name, your contact information, especially if you're on LinkedIn and you're willing to network with everybody else here. I recognize a number of names on this call, and I know that if they're here, they're involved in fraud prevention or cryptocurrency investigations. So please drop, if it's Twitter, emails, LinkedIn, network with each other. Please, because there's somebody probably on this line that's conducting an investigation or did conduct an investigation that maybe you're doing right now and you're stuck, and maybe they can help you out. That's what I found in these. So I should have mentioned that earlier. So please network with each other. All right. So I mentioned clustering, and I wanted just to touch upon this. In cryptocurrency investigations, AI facilitates the grouping of related address through a process called clustering. You'll hear this word a lot in your crypto investigations. Clustering involves identifying addresses that are controlled by the same entity or part of the same network. AI algorithms analyze transaction patterns, commonalities, and interactions from these clusters. So something you'll hear in crypto investigations. By understanding these address clusters, investigators can identify networks engaged in various activities. This could include money laundering, illicit trading, or other forms of financial crime. And remember, to have a financial crime, right, we have an underlying crime. We all know here probably the three stages of money laundering, right? The placement, layering, integration. Stages. We've all had that, have had that training. I think what we don't remember sometimes, and I found this in law enforcement, right? You need that collection of illegal proceeds first. So I like to say, there's these three stages we've all become accustomed to, but remember that pre-stage, right? We've got to collect illicit proceeds from money laundering. Terrorist financing, proliferation, a little different, right? But for money laundering, right, we're collecting illegal proceeds, whether it be from drug trafficking, gun sales, whatever the illegal activity might be. And thanks for everybody for dropping in, and that's great. And I hope you all connect with me as well if we're not connected previously. Hey, I just want to show you an example of a cluster. So using a tool, a analytics tool, and here we're using Clue. Um, that purple circle or pink circle that it is on your computer, that large shaded circle there with the little circles in it, well, that's identifying a cluster. Okay, and if you can see the green circle that's on the right side there, that's our target. Okay, that's our target wallet, and this is just an example, so I don't know if it's a real target or anything, or some example up here. And then we do using AI, using the clustering method. We quickly identify, I don't know, 9 more wallets there that are controlled or owned by the same person. And now we're going to investigate those and where those funds went to. I'll touch quickly on dark web and cryptocurrency investigations. And so this is just an advisory that came out. If anybody's doing any dark web or CSAM, and you want a copy of this, just shoot me an email. I can direct you to this. I think I posted something on this anyway. Or you can go to Bluestone Analytics. Bluestone has teamed up with Blockchain Intelligence Group that we're looking at some of the ways, how crypto is used on the dark web. This is a dark web platform that Bluestone has, and they identified a CSAM site, child sexual exploitation material, abuse material. I'm sorry, and they identified videos and photos. And what's good about this platform is you identify the bad things, but you don't have to see the bad things. It kind of mask that as well. So the website conducts transactions using Bitcoin and lists prices in US dollars. Email addresses and cryptocurrency addresses are used for transactions and communication with purchases involving and sending Bitcoin. Then this is, it's an alert they just put out this week. So through blockchain analysis, 2 Bitcoin addresses were identified for payments to this website, Lolitas, I believe, with timestamps indicating their usage. So Bluestone, utilizing Clue, did some analysis, analysis of the blockchain transactions. The investigators aim to determine the threat actors. Okay, and this is what you'll see. The associated were found to interact with other addresses. So again, now they're using that cluster. They're finding other addresses, and then they're able to go to exchange. So what we want to do is identify those addresses. We want to identify what we call the on and off ramps. Okay, really at the exchanges, and they get to this KYC to get the material, the know your customer material. And again, and just showing you an example, kind of a larger view of things here, of where those addresses were able to take the investigators and to identify. So just an example of what's happening there on the dark web. All right, AI and money laundering detection. Detecting suspicious transactions with AI should be. AI plays a crucial role in identifying potential money laundering activities within cryptocurrency transactions. By analyzing the transaction data, AI can flag transactions that exhibit characteristics commonly associated with money laundering. And remember, AI isn't going to give us at least in the US, our proof beyond a reasonable doubt, right? What AI is going to do is you're feeding it information on what are your red flags, what's your suspicious activity. And then it's going to flag it. But again, that's where it's going to take now the human intervention, right? Someone's going to have to come in, and what we always called in law enforcement, we need to lay eyes on this, right? We need to get eyes. We need to develop, because we need to develop now what is going behind it. So, many times, I'd be out on surveillance, a brand new Cadillac Escalades driving up and down the street, and everybody starts shouting, "Hey, we got followed Escalade as a drug dealer." Well, why is it a drug dealer, right? What do we have behind it? Because we also know many times, especially if we were out in Queens, right, during the early 2000s and whatnot, a lot of musicians were out there making a lot of money too. So, guys would get in trouble stopping people thinking they're drug dealers, and maybe they were involved in the music industry or something. AI-powered algorithms are adept at detecting unusual transaction patterns that indicate attempts to hide or launder funds. So, yeah, that's what we had to do. This could include high volume of rapid transactions, such as sudden large transfers or repetitive small transfers, right? Again, it's a red flag. It's not telling me, okay, run, take this as evidence. No, we've got to do some legwork. We've got to do some homework. We like to say some police work. AI also identifies anomalies by comparing transaction behaviors against established norms. And again, that's where I talked about the patterns of behavior. What I want to know what is normal behavior. Okay, because when something changes, we're all creatures of habit, right? We get up in the morning, and if we have to go to a location for work, we probably leave the house at the same time every morning, and we're probably dressed the same way every morning. Again, if we go to the gym before work, okay, we leave the house at the same time, we're in our gym clothes, then we go change at the gym, right? Well, what's that day when something changes? If I suspect here I'm seeing some patterns of your financial behavior change, I have maybe some other information, right? Drugs don't come in every day. They come in maybe once a week or maybe every other week. Well, what's that one day where something changes and you don't head to work, but you head to the airport, right? And you do something different. Well, that's going to be, and maybe because you're heading to the airport is because they were smuggled in on a flight or something. AI for uncovering complex money laundering schemes. AI can unravel intricate money laundering schemes involving multiple steps and cryptocurrencies, and by tracking these funds again across various addresses and networks, AI is going to help investigators follow the money trail. And we've all heard that, follow the money. Behavioral analysis. AI conducts behavioral analysis to detect changes in transaction patterns over time. And this enables investigators to identify evolving money laundering tactics and adapt their strategies. And remember, the bad guys, I say this all the time, right? The bad guys have all the time in the world. They're not under any time constraint. If it takes them, a month to launder this money, it takes them a month to launder the money. They'd rather do it in probably a day. But if it takes them a month, if it takes them a month to learn it, and they'll spend that time learning. They'll learn the methods, right, and what they're doing. These are transnational criminal organizations, so they have the resources. That's the other thing I'll say about them, right? Most of these criminal organizations, they have unlimited resources. Anybody on our line today that works for any police department or any law enforcement agency, no matter where it is, I don't care if it's the DEA or the Nigerian narcotics unit, right? We're all constrained by the funding we have, right? We only get a pot of funds, whatever that may be, and once it's gone, right? Well, the guys don't have those constraints, and they don't have the constraints of jurisdictions, right? For me to leave the U.S. and go do an investigation of a country, I have to have that other country basically supporting it and on board and understanding it, right? Bad guy operating in Nigeria doesn't need to call any permissions to come to the U.S. and operate, and vice versa. And just another graph here, and this was a graph of the Colonial Pipeline hack. It was a hack into the gas pipeline, shutting it down for a couple of days, but the money was eventually seized. That was paid out. So what are some challenges? Let's just talk about a couple of challenges here. While AI offers significant benefits, it's essential to acknowledge its limitations. The algorithms rely on historical data, potentially missing emerging tactics used in crypto crimes. And cryptocurrency's rapid evolution can outpace AI's adoption, right? I mean, the crypto industry changes rapidly, as we've seen. We got privacy concerns, data security. That's another challenge. So AI requires access to transaction data for analysis, raising privacy concerns. When I say go try ChatGPT, either try it with some data you make up initially, or maybe you pull off the internet something that's public data. when you do, I think that's still evolving. This question of when you put data into ChatGPT, who owns it, and that's you also want to check your own company or your own agency's policies, because a lot of companies do not want their employees taking company data, putting it in, because again, it's learning. It's going to learn from that data, and it's holding on to that data. So. Um, keep your eyes on your policies there. So don't put anything sensitive, anything classified. Don't put that in Chat GPT. Um, it, right. So balancing automation and human oversight. That's another challenge here, right? Human judgment and context. Now, AI, as I said this at the beginning, I'm saying it now again, AI can't replace human intuition and understanding of complex financial scenarios. So human investigators provide a critical context, especially in cases requiring nuanced judgment. And AI can produce false positives. Again, that's why you need that human intervention. Flagging legitimate activities is suspicious, right? That's the false positive, or conversely, the false negatives. When AI misses subtle but yet significant signals of the illicit behavior. And, there's a thing we always said in law enforcement, right? In national security, public safety, we have to get it right all the time. The bad guys don't need to get it right all the time, right? They don't need, if that load of drugs gets seized and they didn't get it right for some reason, okay, someone may have to pay for it and get in trouble or who knows what, right? But they're going to get the next load through or another load, so they don't have to get it right. But we know the devastation when we don't get it right, especially when it comes to national security issues. What does this all mean, right? AI is not going to replace you. So for the person that asked about the good or bad, it's not going to replace you. People who understand or use AI will replace you. Okay, so if your agency or you have people agency that don't want to learn this, they will be replaced. What's the future here? Well, AI will continue to shape the landscape of cryptocurrency investigations. Emerging trends include AI-driven predictive analysis. Okay, so it's going to continue to shape it. AI's ability to protect potential financial crimes will become more refined. Okay. Proactive approach empowers investigators to intervene before crimes approach. And that's what we want to get to. It's going to play a role in decentralized finance here as well. It'll be crucial for maintaining regulatory compliance. So basically, look, what I want to leave you with, right? AI streamlines investigations, it enhances accuracy, and offers insights previously hidden to the digital realm. And I highlight this: while AI is a powerful tool, its true potential is realized in collaboration with skilled investigators, basically everybody on this line. Okay, this is where the true potential lies. It doesn't rely on the machine; it relies on you and using the machine and understanding it. The human touch is essential for context, ethical considerations, and complex judgment calls. And with that, I definitely want to thank everybody for being here. I guess we're going to open up for some questions. And again, if we're not connected, thank you, Isha. Thank you for the applause there. That's a new feature that I have to learn how to use on these, but that's great. There's myself. I think someone had raised their hand. Chioma, I don't know if you want to.
Okay, so thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and I believe everyone on this call has got some value. AI will not replace you, but people using AI replace. That's number one I got from here. I don't know if you don't mind, you could drop your questions in the chat box, or we could just take a few questions. But then I don't know if Mr. Deji has a statement to drop. I don't know if it's free to do that. You can just say something to the audience while we take the questions. All right, we don't have much time left, but we believe that this is just like an appetizer for you to learn more. All right, and that is why we are here at A&D Forensics. So we can guide you, we teach you crypto investigations, we teach you crypto compliance. All right, and we also collaborate with you to make sure that you excel in your career. So please drop your questions if you have, so that we can be able to take them and wrap it up. Also, we'll be dropping a survey right away. Please do well to fill out the survey form. It's going to help us to know how we can serve you better. And we're also considering having a private community where we can be able to do these things often. And in the survey form, the feedback we get, be able to let us know what to expect. All right. So, do we have questions? Can can this work in a cash-intensive economy with serious historical and KYC data lapses? That's from Tubikani. Sorry, I sticker. Okay, Mr. William, can you take that?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
definitely. First, I want to say like the Clappingham emojis that are popping up. I don't know if everybody sees that, but thank you
Yeah.
so much for that because I've sat on many of these where you're talking to the camera, you talk here. Sometimes you get a question or two, but you really don't know what the reaction was. So I'm laughing at this. That's great. I really appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I think yes, this could work in any sort of investigation because again what you want to start to gather is what is the norms, right? What is normal? So if you're working in a cash intensive economy and let's just say you're suspecting that you have storefronts that are laundering money, if you can bring in the data, okay, what is normal activity for a restaurant, right? Maybe a coffee shop. What is the normal activity? And you could bring in that for 50, 100 coffee shops, and now you have your suspect coffee shop. What are those anomalies, right? Why is this one coffee shop doing so much more money? And
I
it's
mean,
like
like sense of income. Since the one of the attachments is approval for NEP.
um, it's like I had a case where it was a jewelry store. The jewelry store was not even in the shopping district. It was off on another street that got very little foot traffic compared to, the street a few blocks away, which was where everybody shopped. Again, that was in Queens, New York, but he had lots and lots of cash going through his accounts, cash. We're thinking maybe he's doing it mail order. Well, no. Again, using that whole theory of patterns of behavior, surveillance, looking at what he's doing. This is before having all these tools of AI. You had to physically lay eyes on the place. He was laundering bags of cash for the Mexican drug cartels. So yeah, I think I know it could be used in that sense.
Thank you
Uh,
for that. We have more. I think this is coming from Detective Kule from Lagos. Does BIG Clue, he is a CCI already, does BIG Clue use AI to generate investigation reports? That's number one. Number two, as AI potentially rely on behavioral patterns as new tokens or coins are introduced into the market, where we have blockchain analytics tools did not support. Okay, how do we catch up on bad guys using these tokens not supported by the commercial tools? Like I think he's trying to ask the capacity of the clue and how they intend to trace and track blockchain cryptocurrencies that are not supported on the tool. I think that, and then if clue uses AI, that's
right,
from
right. Yeah, I mean there's AI being integrated in all of these tools. There's AI being integrated on the piece of generating reports, for the transaction analysis, for risk analysis. That's another tool that we have for VASP and financial institutions that does transaction monitoring. Look, law enforcement, the private sector, unfortunately, we're always going to be behind the bad guys because the bad guys are going to initially realize, oh, there's a new token out there I can use. Just like a recent token, which was added to the Clue Suite Tron. Okay. We started hearing about that. We were in development of it. More and more police agencies were calling me, telling me, hey, we're seeing more of this Tron being used. Okay. But we've got to play catch up. I suspect that, in the next week, it could be today, it could be tomorrow, right? Another investigator will call me and say, hey, we're starting to see such and such coin that I've never heard of. And then, not only us and all the analytics companies will have to assess, right? Is it being used on scale that it's worth? Because there is an investment to make when you add one of these new tokens to your platform or any of these, any platform here. This is just, what I've learned stepping out of law enforcement and now seeing what's behind that magic curtain there. You have to make this investment of time of developing to bring that data in. It's not just flipping a switch. There's certain things you have to do, and I'm not a computer code person, so I could not explain that. I just know that it takes some time to develop it. But yeah, I think there'll be new tokens. The thing I think with crypto, though, I think what we've seen the last year or so is it's on scale. I'm not talking about some small little person, individual that's doing it. But I said the bad guys need what we need, right? In our money, right? We need security, we need stability, and there's only a few coins that have that, right? Your Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, some of your stable coins, some I should say. So and that's what we're focused on. Finding out, learning, developing. Okay, what are those coins and tokens those bad guys are using? That's what we want to focus on and develop.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think we have another one. Can AI handle risk management and assessment, and with what parameters? And I also think I have another question. Okay, from Felix. Can AI work in compliance departments in banks? Then these two are the outstanding questions. Can AI work in compliance departments in banks? Can AI handle risk management and assessment, and with what parameters?
Yeah, I know. I think you're seeing a lot of tools out there. Is a great question because you are seeing a lot of new companies and tools worldwide that are coming out with these types of tools for financial institutions. I know one company they actually have kind of again reverse engineered that to talk about catching the good guys. So what they really do is look at what is good then with AI so that they can quickly identify those anomalies when something doesn't look right. Not going to say bad or illegal. I think in the financial industry, one of the things that I did a lot was interacting with the financial industry, especially the people that made SAR, that wrote the SARs, and I would always tell them, that they thought I'd speak to many of them, and they would talk about, well, we've identified illegal activity, right? And I'd tell them, look, the investigator's got to determine if it's illegal, and it takes more than a SAR, right? It takes cooperators, it takes surveillance, it takes some other things to do. What I really said would rely on the folks in the financial industry is tell me what's different. Tell me why you think this is suspicious. What makes this different? Anybody could walk in and make some structured deposits, right? Well, why does it make it? Why does this make it different? Maybe it's because that customer is a 90-year-old woman who's never made those deposits before. She gets a pension check or some sort of check or a government support check every month, and now all of a sudden her account is structuring some money. To me, I'm not sure that little old lady's involved. I think somebody may have taken that account over, right? So tell me why you think it's suspicious, and you bring the greatest insight to criminal investigators.
Okay, thank you so much. So I just have something to chip in. When it comes to compliance, AI can also assist in policies. So if you have your policies based on the jurisdiction, of course, cryptocurrency compliance cuts across different jurisdictions. So you're not working with just Nigerian policy or US policy. You're based on the policy or where your clients coming from. So who's trying to share?
Someone just took over the screen here.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. So, and what AI can also help you to do is to make sure that these policies are automated very well. Like you can keep the tools, the points, or whatever it is you want to key into the system, and it can help you flag them, trigger the suspicious activities for you now to continue to trace, right? And I see AI doing a whole lot, even still trying to get into that. But one thing you should know that these AI are being integrated into tools. So it's not as if you're going to see the AIs and touch them, right? But then existing tools are actually now integrating these AI to make their tool work better. All right. So, and when we do crypto investigations or crypto compliance, we don't work with just one tool, all right? Because most of them have their capacities and their capabilities or what they focus on, right? So we try to work with so many tools, especially in the lab, all right? So when you are using AI is just trying to make it faster for you. Like what he explained, what Mr. William explained. If you're doing an investigation and you're supposed to carry out that investigation, let's say in 4 hours, AI can help you achieve that in 1 hour, right? That does not mean that AI came to take away the investigation work from you. No, it made it easier for you, and you were able to use it. Yesterday we were in the office, and my colleague just shouted, "Wow, ChatGPT! What were we doing before ChatGPT came in?" I said, we were working before it came in, but now it's making it easier for us, right? So you could imagine you completing your day's task within 5 minutes, within 1 hour, compared to when you don't have AI enabled tools helping you, and that's just it. Okay, so I think this should be the last question before we go. We're already short of time, but then we'll crave your indulgence to please allow us to wrap it up. We have from Detective Ogunjobi. Yeah, he's also working with the EFCC. With the adoption of AI by bad guys, how can individuals detect fraudulent conversations like fraud, impersonation? I think that's a basic use case of AI for bad actors when you have deepfakes coming in. So how I think that's where his question is coming from. How can individuals detect fraudulent conversations like fraud, impersonation? Connections to social engineering. All right. Our last webinar on cybersecurity was on social engineering. So if you don't know what it is, you can just Google it. You understand better what social engineering is. But then the question is, with the adoption of AI by bad guys, how can individuals detect fraudulent conversations, all right, in connection to social engineering? And then Modupa TVA, do you need regulatory approval to include AI in investigations? I think these two questions are the last questions.
Okay. Yeah, no, no, I definitely, can you hear me? You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Um, with the adoption question there, look, I, I think we're looking for some magic bullet here, some magic website that we can go to. We have to start with education of the public. That's the first thing, right? Because yes, we have to be more vigilant. We have to be on high alert. We've got to come up with some pre-planning. Somebody out there, this webinar will get out into cyberspace somehow. Some bad guy's going to capture my voice. They're going to put it through AI, and they just need a sample of my voice, right? And now they can take that voice and they can start calling my family members and friends and sending a message, me saying I'm in trouble, I need money, blah blah, something like that, right? So what we need to educate ourselves is, one, we got to know some of those signs. Okay, I got to slow down, right? There's a sense of urgency. No law enforcement calls you to Sunday. I think you went on mute. There you go. There's no law enforcement agency, especially in the U.S. I think it's that way all over your country there, Chioma. They're going to call you up and say, well, unless you pay me in gift cards, we're going to arrest you, or something like that, or in Bitcoin. So we need, that's going to be the first and foremost. We need to go back, talk to your kids, talk to your family members, come up with some sort of code word. What's running rampant here is in elder fraud, where they're calling, and this is all scripted. These are transnational criminal organizations. My mother was recently got one of these calls. It was very upsetting because she gets a call and the call is like, "Grandma, I'm in trouble, blah blah blah." And what does she do? She mentions the name of one of my kids, right? She mentions their name, and they say, "Yeah, well now they've got the name, right?" Because that's your initial reaction is going to be. Now, if she said, she made up a name, Bobby, are you in trouble? And they said, "Yeah." I needed to educate her to say, okay, well, once she responded, I don't have a kid named Bobby, right? She would hang up the phone and say, okay, I know this is a scam. So that's more than any sort of magic solution out there. I encourage the education, and it starts with all of you here on the phone to take that message and spread it. The one about regulation you just asked, there is talk about regulating AI, but I think I heard you say, Modu, you're a law enforcement. What you need to actually check is your agency's policy. I'd be right now more interested, to say, do you need what's your agency policy on using AI, especially with your official duties there. That's why I say I wouldn't take, right now, unless you subscribe to one of these services that segregate it out of the AI's learning model, to use it. Where it's again like in Clue, we don't take your data, right? Your data is your data. We're not seeing that you put in some account that you think is part of a some sort of investment scam, and then we're taking your attribution unless you tell us we can do that. You might say, okay, look, you can use this. Let's give this attribution because we know it's bad, but that's what you have to look for. But with ChatGPT, that's not the case. You put in there all this data about your target. Now ChatGPT is learning about your target there. I hope that answered that question there.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you from Rima. Thank you for joining in. So is asking if we offer training just on site. Of course, we offer both virtual and on site. However, the on site is more readily available right now. For our 3CS, which is for crypto compliance officers, we are trying to make it online as well because we've gotten demand for that. But then our CCI, we offer support as well for online. So if you're taking it online, we can also support you. All right. So you reach out to us, we can help you, assist you. One thing that is peculiar from experience, most of participants, they want hands-on practicals, right? They want to have a classroom experience. They want to be sure that they can ask questions and get their answers, right? And that is what we provide. We provide you that support, that after mentorship that you can get, all right? So we don't just allow you to roam over. Our certified cryptocurrency investigators and compliance specialists are already in a private community where they can always ask questions, network with people that are already in the system. So if you are handling a case and you feel that you need another law enforcement from another jurisdiction, let's say you're on the police force and you need assistance from the EFCC, you can have that from the community. You can have that assistance from the community, right? And I believe that we've gotten value from this particular call. Also, please make sure you help us out by filling out the survey, and also follow us on our social media platforms. If you're interested in joining our private community, which we are planning to also launch very soon, you are welcome. I don't know if our senior partner is privileged to say hello to us before we'll say our goodbyes to each other. Mr. Deji, are you free? He's actually on transit, so
Yeah, I'm free. I'm at the airport, very noisy, but I've been following up. I think it's very insightful. Thank you, Mr. Williams. I think with a lot of follow-up questions that I see, it has been able to communicate a lot of uh, possibilities with AI, especially when it has to do with investigation. And so a lot of people here are interested in compliance. A lot of people are also law enforcement that are on everyday, involved with investigations. So we'll continue to do something like this. It's been insightful even me. I think I followed Mr. Williams very well. I got a lot of insight. And so with the questions coming, also since there's a form, we can follow up with other questions, people interested to develop that career, because again, it's a career where a lot of people are not present currently. Yesterday, I had an engagement with the EFCC head of cybercrime here in Lagos, and that's a complaint. So very few, even within their cycle, very few officers can actually track and trace cryptocurrencies with the before AI. So now with the layer of AI and what is possible with smart contract and all that, so this is the right time for this to really happen. So thank you again, Mr. William. We really do appreciate.
thank you so much, sir, for
Thank
that.
you.
So, Mr. Wheeler, any final talk before we go? Can say your final comment.
Oh, sorry, but no, thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure to meet you. Hopefully, we'll stay in contact with each other. And please, for those of you that are working, there, take advantage of Sioma and Adigi and A&D Forensics and what they're doing.
Thank you so much for honoring this invitation, and thank you to everyone. I mean, this morning I woke up to a chat via LinkedIn where someone said, "I'm going to set my alarm. It's going to be 5:30 a.m. over here, but I'm going to set my alarm." And that's Rima. Thank you for joining in. Most people are on transit, but they try to join in. We appreciate your time, and apologies that we overshot by, I think, 15 or 13 minutes right now, but we believe you got value. And please drop your reviews. It's very important to us. And follow us on our social media platforms, A&D Forensics, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, and even on Instagram. Do follow us for more information and updates. And also, we are planning to have a private community where these questions can actually be answered, right? So if you're interested, please reach out to us. The survey will actually let us know that you are interested, and we'll communicate back to you to add you to the group, all right? Because we want to make sure that we have all these questions answered. And for those of you that want to switch your careers into crypto compliance, you're very much welcome, all right? So we do the trainings here at A&D Forensics, and we are planning to also make it accessible for people that are not in Nigeria, like let's say for virtual trainings as well, work on that. And for the CCI, the Certified Cryptocurrency Investigator Training course, we also offer that on site. And if you're a law enforcement agent and you need us to come in person and train you, and you have your team that we can come over to train, please reach out to us. We're going to do that. Logistics with you, and we're going to come and train you as well. All right. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, fill the survey, and we'll keep in touch. Thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate you. Right now, we're going to say our goodbyes. Bye, everyone. Yes. Also follow Mr. Williams. He does a lot on his LinkedIn. Thank you so much.